Everybody, hey, how are you? Good to see you. It's Peter Clark, Red TV in Conversation. Hey, just thanks for tuning in. So appreciate seeing you here today. We're live wherever you get zeros and ones through your router. We're on the internet. That's where we are right very second. You are here live, and look at that fine looking young gentleman over there. We have a super cool guest today. Oh man, I'm pumped for this one. You know, I'm always pumped for my guests, but this one, I'm pumped. I'm a little excited. Hey, I just want to let you know that I really appreciate you tuning in. If you got some comments or anything, if you're tuning in and you're in the radio and music business and all that kind of broadcasting business and stuff, this is a good show for you as well. So please tell us where you might be listening in from. Put it in the comments. If you got a question for Steve, we'll try to jam it in there. We have very limited time, so it sounds like I'm speaking fast, so I'll slow it down a little bit. We got so much to cover. So I appreciate that. Share it with your network. We're on LinkedIn, of course. That's the main platform. We're out to YouTube as well, and all kinds of platforms. But again, share it with people and let them know that, hey, Red TV was on today. Hey, in the background, you see that little 347 The Juice? Steve doesn't know that, but that's my own little digital radio station. Hey, I love audio. So, I've been playing with my own little station and programming and broadcasting, and it's cool. It's cool. So don't ever forget, audio is cool. Radio is cool. We're going to talk about that very much today. So let's just jump right to it because we have very limited time. Tracked him down live out in the field. He's in his element right now. He's out live. But let me just tell you a little bit about Steve. Steve Jones he's the president of Stingray Radio. So that's pretty much Canada's largest radio broadcaster, 100 plus radio stations, 7 million, more than 7 million listeners on a weekly basis across the country, 35 years leading the media and music organizations around the world, Canada, the United States, the Caribbean. But he's not just an executive. This is why I really wanted to bring him on. Much more than an executive. Not that's not enough. That is. He's a storyteller. He's a brand strategist. He's a leadership thinker, an author, a professional speaker. Has books such as Brand Like a Rock Star. I already told him I'm stealing that. I don't know how yet, but it's the highest form of flattery. So I'm taking that. Start You Up is another one of his books, so you can explore how artists and brands build loyal audiences, not just transactional, but loyal audiences. So I'm super pumped to have him here. Gosh, it's again out in the field. So everybody, you're gonna have to bear with us in the sounds and stuff. It is super cool and cool. Mr. Steve Jones, how are you?
Great, thank you so much for having me, and I do apologize for the terrible audio. You sound great in a studio. Your intro theme is top notch, and here I am in a Starbucks. But I apologize, but I'm caught between meetings, and I had to find a good place to make this work. So
no apologies, my friend. And listen, this is kind of the theme of the day. I mean, we're talking about audio, and this is real life audio. This is what we're doing. We're in real time. You're out living your life and in between meetings and doing your stuff. And this is what a lot of business people do today. So no, I appreciate it. This is sort of the core of the concept here of what we're talking about today, the human voice and connecting like we're doing right now in real time. So no apologies required, my friend. First of all, everything good, healthy and well, and your family's good. Yes.
Everything is good. And grateful that you would take the time and have me on the show, and I'm looking forward to the conversation tonight.
Oh, fantastic. Well, again, I appreciate it. And I know it's going to sound like we move fast, everybody, but I'm really trying to jam as much as I can at this time. And I know we're going to have some fun here. So, Steve, like I really, really was looking forward to talking to you. And not just because of, your story on radio. You've been and broadcasting for many, many years. So, I mean, that's part of your story, and that's who you are. But there's something a little deeper I wanted to talk about. And that was the role, if you will, of voice and trust and human connection. And I know you talk a lot about that in your speaking. You talk about that in your books when it comes to branding and so on. So as it's so noisy out there right now, I still believe, and I've been talking about this for a while, I think anyone who loves doing what we're doing recognizes this, is that people still crave human voices and human stories and human connection. So now we're in this world of algorithms and AI voices and videos and all this kind of stuff, I want to ask you right off the top here, why do you think human voices still matter right now? What do you think?
I think more than ever before, we crave and we biologically need. I have no evidence to back that up. I'm not a doctor or a scientist, but I believe we crave that connection to others. We need to know we're not alone. We need to know that the things we're going through are normal, whether they're good things or bad things or weird things. And the human voice is probably the most powerful tool to do that, because it removes all of the other things. It removes your clothes, your power, your anything. It is just another voice, and there's something magical. I love it. I've loved it for as long as I can remember it. I clearly remember one night early in my career. This is in the probably late 80s, I think, when the first Gulf War. And the reporters from CNN were broadcasting from under a table in Baghdad as bombs were falling. And I was listening on the radio in the middle of nowhere. And I realized what it must have been like when we had no other options other than the human voice. We didn't have video, we didn't have cable, the internet. It's incredible what the human voice can do to create a sense of trust and companionship, and let you know that whatever you're going through, you're not alone. Someone here on the other.
Yeah, like you said, there's a connection point. There's a trust. It's funny you mentioned that word trust, because I was literally exchanging comments this morning on LinkedIn with a friend of mine who builds YouTube channels and things like that. And that's what he emphasized. He talked about the idea that, video content right now is all about trust. So I'm not going in that direction, but I'm talking about this idea of humans being on video, even doing what we're doing now. I love live more than recording, to be frank with you. I thrive in this environment because it feels like you and I we're having this conversation, which we are in real time, and people are hearing this in real time. So I know you're a powerful advocate for radio, and I so appreciate that. And we got to have a conversation just about that alone, because I laugh when I hear people say radio is dead. I mean, it's so laughable, because the data shows that that's simply not true. That's for number one. But why do you think radio still remains so emotionally powerful? Why does radio offer that emotionality that other kinds of media do not? What do you think of that?
What I think is magical about radio is it's a linear consumption. With TV, you come in for a program, and you might get a drink of water during the commercials, and come back for the show. Whether it's a half-hour sitcom or a 2.5-hour hockey game, whatever it might be, you're there for the show. With radio, it's just a continuum. You come in. Your friend is on the air hosting a show. She's playing some good songs you like, telling you some interesting stories. There's no start and finish to radio. It's like a perpetual thing that is in real-time existence with you in your life. And there's no other medium like that.
Yeah, I agree with you that there's a sense of connectivity and a sense of I would push it even as far as, like, you feel like you know that person. And I know when I do some of my radio shows, and some of the people that, they tune in, and they're all over, which is kind of cool. They're people from the Boston area and just all around. And they'll say, Peter, it sounds like you're right in the room with me. And I just love that concept, the idea that we're doing what we're doing with audio. Even if we didn't have this video here, we could certainly be still having this emotional connection to what radio does. And I just think it's so powerful. I want to jump to something that you're a leader. I mean, you write some books. I had your book titles up there. I'm going to jump on your website in here in a second, but I want to also mention that Steve is an author and has written some really cool books. And I love Brand Like a Rock Star, the idea of how brands like bands and artists have figured out how to emotionally connect. And I'm going to talk to you about that in a second. But I also want to mention the idea that you are a leader. You've built businesses, you've worked with people around the world. And, we're going through such change in media, from traditional broadcasting to streaming and digital. And now AI is just, it's just this buzzword. And I'll add my 2 cents by saying, I think AI is driving us together to be more human, which I love. But I'll ask you this question: with all these environments, what does leadership, as a leader, such as yourself, what does leadership look like when your industry that you love keeps reinventing itself and changing all the time? What does that look like for you?
I don't think it really changes anything. It amplifies things. It amplifies what people need from leadership, which is really what they've always needed from leadership in business, also in faith, in communities, in education, in any organization. People look to leadership to provide a sense of purpose. They look for leadership for some hope, stability. They need to know, because people spend more time with their coworkers than they do with their family. And they often do it for a reward that's not as much as they think they deserve. And they go through a lot of hardship to accomplish what they accomplish. They need to know that there's a reason they show up. And leaders have the responsibility to do that, not just to themselves, but to the organization, because people perform at a much higher level when they have a reason to come to work, when they know that it's not just quarterly profits or a P&L that they're coming to work for. There's meaning and purpose behind it. And a colleague named Daniel Pink wrote a great book about a decade ago called Thrive, and he identified 3 things: autonomy, mastery, and purpose. He identified the reality that people, when they're being paid a reasonable amount of compensation for their work, they stop worrying about the compensation and they start worrying about the things that are intrinsic drivers: autonomy, mastery, and purpose. If I can have the freedom to do something really cool, and the ability, mastery, to be good at it, and the purpose behind it, I can do great things. And when you think about the things that you do outside of work, maybe you teach yourself to speak Spanish, or you teach yourself to play guitar. Nobody paid you for that. You found autonomy, mastery, and purpose in something. And when we can, as leaders, provide our teams a sense of autonomy, mastery, and purpose, we're doing our jobs, and that's above and beyond all the other things that we do in terms of delivering results to organizations.
Yeah, I love that autonomy and purpose. I mastery. I love that. And, to your point, I mean, I think that falls within, there's a certain group of people out there that are driven in a different way, such as yourself. And you leaned on the idea of learning something, for example, when no one's asking you to do that. So I can paint myself for that. Like, I'm trying to learn piano here. I have my guitar. It's just for the love and the passion, but the putting in the time and the hours to become that person. I think that's an intrinsic part of all of us that again, some people seem to have a lot more of that and be able to kind of turn it into a leadership skill, and people recognize that. They really do. Here's what I like to jump to this, and again, we're moving around a lot. Listen, this is not a normal conversation, Steve, just so you know. I like we would still be on question 1 if we were just
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's on me. I hate to rush this, but take your time.
No, it's all good, my friend. We're having fun here. I really appreciate it. So I know that, again, you've written some really cool books, and I'll bring them up again here now. Just especially, I like the idea of the branding like a rock star, and you really zoom in on and dial in on the idea that the artists and bands and some brands, but especially in rock and roll and music. I've listened to some of your talks, and I love, like I said, some of the speeches or some of the phrases that you use where you say, I'm a big customer of the Rolling Stones, and I just love stuff like that. So I so relate to that. You're a fan of these things, of these entities, and you become loyal. And you talk about this, that the idea of not just listeners, but you want believers. You want people to become believers. So I wonder, in your mind, when does an audience stop being an audience and really become community?
The moment when you engage, when something starts to matter to you beyond the audience, I think is that moment. Whether you're an artist or when you transcend the transactional relationship and you become invested in each other. And I think we all have products or services that we feel that way about. We don't often think about them, but they're out there, and they're usually either local, like hyper local, really small companies that you just feel you want them to succeed, whether it's a personal relationship with the proprietor or owner, whether it's something they did great for you, or it could be a big company. It could be Starbucks, it could be an airline, it could be anything that, they've risen above the level of a transactional relationship. And that's why music stands up as such a great model for branding. Is that like I said, there are no customers of the Rolling Stones. Nobody's a Taylor Swift customer. Fans are different. Customers are they're going to go where they're going to go. They're going to go where they want to go. They'll drive across town to save a couple of cents on gas. They'll go anywhere the convenience and the price benefits them the most. But fans, they'll be with you through everything. They'll go through receptions. They will spend money. Think about music fans. We've all spent way too much money on a concert ticket. Many of us have booked trips to foreign countries or cities to go see a band we love. That money's probably better spent on our retirement savings or perhaps on our kids' college fund. But we do it because we're making a decision with our head, and that's where the line between fans and customers. Customers make a decision with their head. They're logical. They're thinking about what's the best option for me. Where can I save the most money? Where can I get the best parking? Where can I make this as fast as possible? Fans are making the decision with their heart. And that's where, the great decisions are made when you're a company. Because look, there's no logic out there that says you should buy a Porsche sports car. But if you're a 55-year-old male and you convince yourself you want a sports car, your heart's going to convince your head. The great buying decisions are all made with the heart. The brain just justifies what the heart really wants. So companies that are able to appeal to that very visceral heart need, people don't even realize it. They think they're making logical decisions. They rationalize the decision in different ways. But in the end, the heart makes the decision. The head justifies the decision. And if you're the kind of organization that has people making decisions with their heart, you've got fans.
It's so true. Like you said, this transactional thing, that's what I really appreciated in your talks and in your book, as well as this idea of there's a real big difference between loyalty and transaction. And I think we all have experienced the simplest one you just mentioned, travel, for example. You think in Canada, I'll just use as an example, you have Air Canada and WestJet predominantly. There's other great carriers as well, Porter and Air Transat and so on. But let's use those two. I mean, it's sometimes it comes right down to the transaction. But in many cases, some people only fly one airline no matter what, because of this idea of feeling very, very loyal to the brand, very loyal to the service. And that's at a different level. It's not about transaction then. It's a different kind of purchase. So I completely understand what you're referring to there. So I appreciate you sharing that idea. Let's talk a little bit about, I guess, the way people consume content these days. I mean, they're on their phone, whether it's on your phone, whether it's on demand, these kinds of things. It's podcasts and streaming, and people have in-car experiences. So that's where that idea that the radio is dead, which is, again, folks, I can't wait. We need a full show on that, because that's just not true. But and I could, for myself, I mean, as soon as I get in the car, I start turning on the radio and so on. So, but people are doing personalized platforms, these kinds of things. I'm wondering what you think about, again, going back to the theme here of the human voice, of why we need to connect as humans. What do you think the role will be for our human voices in the near future. And why does that matter?
I don't think anything changes. It doesn't diminish at all. In fact, as I said earlier, I think it's amplified. The more we fragment, the more we go in different directions and consume things that are very specialized to us, the more we need to be part of something bigger than ourselves. So, these niche broadcasts are fantastic. If you are, an adult who builds Lego, you maybe thought 30 years ago you were a weirdo, but now the internet will show you it's a great hobby. There's a lot of adults who build with Lego, and there are shows on YouTube just for them. You're no longer alone. But at some point, you want something part of a bigger community, and that's where I think radio will always be a part of people's lives. You can listen to a podcast. You don't know if you're sharing that experience with anybody else. You can watch a show on Amazon Prime and find out, as you start to tell your best friend about it, that, wait, don't tell me I'm on episode 3, you're on episode 8. You're not sharing what I would call a critical mass moment. Whereas with radio, at any given point, you're all hearing the same song at the same time. You're all learning about the concert at the same time, taking part in the content and consuming it at the same time. That's where radio separates itself. And I think it, in the end, will make itself better if it embraces that. You need to be everywhere in time shifted. You need to provide your content on any platform. But when it comes down to it, the end is it's a valuable thing because if you miss it, it's gone, and there's no catching it.
I love that. And, it reminds me of, I know you love music. I know, again, being around it for so long, you just hit it on the head. I mean, this is why people will not ever, in my opinion, stop going to things like theater, and why you won't stop going to see your favorite band live. You can, we just mentioned the Rolling Stones as a classic example. Let's say it's Springsteen, doesn't matter who it is this idea. There's millions of videos and audio and all that stuff that you can have as an experience on your own, but there's nothing like coming together and having it at the same time. And when you're in their live presence, when they play it, it's gone. So it's like radio. Again, you have that communal experience, right?
Yeah, you're part of something bigger than you. You're part of something that is only happening in that moment. I can think of concerts I was at where something really cool happened. I was at a Fleetwood Mac show on Stevie's 65th birthday, and the audience sang Happy Birthday to her. And then she sang Landslide. And that was like, that's never going to happen again. You were there for that. So, yeah, I think radio and live music provide us with that in-the-moment experience. And yes, it can be consumed 100 times over. I can watch a video of the audience serenading Stevie Nicks. I can listen to a radio show on demand. But there is something magical and special about in-the-moment consumption of audio, knowing the person in the car next to you or in the town next to you is hearing the same thing at the same time.
Yeah, same thing, same time. I love that. It's kind of like you think about something as special as we just had it. We had the Olympics. When you're watching the Olympics and you know that, okay, this every 4 years, we're watching this happen right in front of us. No one wants to watch a recording of the gold medal hockey game, right? I mean, they want to be part of the collective. So I appreciate what you're saying there. Hey, speaking of, and that was just an ironic thing. I didn't even plan this, but I read something about you, and I meant to start the show with this, and I was thinking, I was wondering why there's also, I reached out to you for something, and I was thinking, well, just for this great conversation. But I said, there must be something else. I always think there's something else like in the air. And I did some research on you. So please tell me, are you a goalie? Are you a goalie?
Well, the guys on my hockey team would say I have the equipment, but yeah, I do play the position of, once or twice a week with a bunch of other old fat guys playing hockey. Yeah.
I love it. And look, I'm going to show you something. Look at this.
Oh, no.
Look at this.
Wow. Look at that.
So I still play as well. I still play.
Awesome. And you've got the Flames logos too.
I got all the Flame stuff only because I live in Calgary, and my good friend, I shouldn't say this out loud, but my good friend works there, and every now and then something would find its way.
as it does. That's awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah, so I still love, but I good for you, man. It's such a great sport, and it's such a fun position to play. And I mean this sincerely. I think goalies just think a little different. They just do. there's something, I'm not sure what to say about that, but there's something different about drummers. There's something different about goalies, right? There's something different.
Yeah. I think we could go down a whole show on that topic alone, but I do think there is something about the person who's willing to be the last line of defense between success and failure.
Right.
And it takes a screwed up, mindset, but if you're willing to be that person, then there's something to that. I think that does take you down a certain way.
I agree. I couldn't agree with you more. Okay, listen, I know we're at the tail end of our 30 minutes. I can't believe I kept it on time.
No rush. We're good. We're good.
There's no way I'm leaving this show without we doing a little this or that. That's one of my favorite little parts of the show here. Little this or that, because I want to learn a little bit more about Steve. I want to learn a little bit more about the guy. So let's do a little this. Right, this or that. That's what we're going to do. It's very simple. Like, it's just, I'm literally going to ask you two things, and then you're just going to say, yeah, one or the other. And then that way, hey, we're going to get inside a little bit about Steve Jones here. This is simple stuff. How about this? Guitar solo or a drum solo?
Drum solo. I play drums. I have a set, have a Roland electronic set in my office at home. I'm terrible at it. But I love playing, and it's a great way to release some stress. Drum solo all day.
Steve, I'm a drummer as well.
Oh, we were both brother from another mother.
I don't know what's going on here, but anyway, that's funny. That's funny. How about this? How about a sing-along or just to sit back and listen?
Sit back and listen. Maybe it's because I know I'm a terrible performer when it comes to music. But it's also because I love to just absorb. It's fun to sing along if you're at a show, but to put a pair of headphones on and close your eyes and listen to someone who just had their heart broken sing about it, it's pretty intense. Absolutely.
Now, I know you've been down to Newfoundland and you visited down there, so I'm going to say there's no way you went down to George Street and just sat back and listened. You sang
sing a long time. Yeah, there's a time and place.
Absolutely. How about this? 60s music or 80s music?
80s music. I was born in 1970. I grew up. My first album was Billy Joel's Glass Houses, 1980. And I came of age on 80s new wave music that still, despite my many different types of music I love, when I look at Spotify rap, there's a lot of New Order and ΔΕPECHE MODE and 80s new wave.
Wow, fantastic! I me as well. I mean, I'm just lost. My hair is lost in the 80s. I'm still lost. I'm completely lost in the 80s. Completely lost in the 80s. How about this one? Beatles or Stones? Oh, you're on mute. I got you on mute there, Steve. You're on mute. Yeah, there. It's okay.
Sorry, I just said that's the impossible question.
It is so.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Stones for longevity. I'm going to go, but I just think from individual personalities to have John Lennon and Paul McCartney and Ringo and George in the same band at the same time, that's weird stuff that the world produces. I don't know. I think I'm changing my answer. I'm going with the Beatles.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, that's a tricky question, but you hit it on the head. Longevity, no one's ever going to touch that. No one's going to touch that. I mean, Mick looks still fantastic. He still does what he does. But like you said, to have that collection of songwriting and the ability to work together the way the Beatles did, that's exceptional.
And there's something special about a body of work that only existed for a very brief period and never went through. You can look at the Stones catalog and go, wow, really? Like Harlem Shuffle and the early 80s and 80s stuff they did. They barely recorded a new song since 1990 something. Maybe the longevity, while it's a beautiful thing, might hurt the band. When you look at the Beatles, it was all over in 1970. It was all amazing. There was never a period of dud albums. It was just so good and way too short. But that's maybe what makes it great.
Agreed. You mentioned Fleetwood Mac there a second ago. Fleetwood Mac or the Eagles?
Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Well, you can take a case either way. I'm just a huge fan of Mick Fleetwood as a drummer. I think Lindsey Buckingham is one of the most underrated guitar players in rock history. John McVie as the rhythm section of solid rock. and that just the whole thing. I love the Eagles too, but Fleetwood Mac will always be just a little.
Yeah, I think I saw a picture with you on your website with 𝘄𝗶𝘁𝗵, I believe, and
yeah, with Christine and Lindsay when they toured briefly together in the in 2017-ish. They did a tour together, and then I also had the chance. I'm so fortunate to meet Mick Fleetwood when he did a photography exhibit, and he is amazing photographer. So they were all incredible people.
Fantastic. The fact that you met her, I mean, that's spectacular. I mean, I must say, I'm such a big fan of her as an individual. I must say. Here, I'll leave you with this last one. This one's simple. Wow, this might not be a simple one. The Police or U2?
Ooh. Wow. I mean, that's as hard as the Beatles and the Stones, because the Police are just like the Beatles, such a great audio book condensed into such a short period, and no crap. Whereas, U2 had the highs and lows, and they had some albums that were good, but I think in the end I'm going to go with U2 for the social relevance, the longevity, the ability to recover from setbacks, and this sort of weird sense of the zeitgeist of what we needed in the moment. Like Joshua Tree came along at the right time, and then they went electronic and industrial in the 90s at the right time, and they gave us a beautiful day, coming back after 9/11 and the Super Bowl. And to this day, they make great music. Their shows at Studio are amazing. I'm going to go with U2, but it's real.
Yeah, that's a tough one. You're right up against Sting as a solo as well, solo artist, and yeah,
just among the best in the world. Yeah.
That's a tough one. It's just, hey, this is the purpose, just to get to know you a little bit better. Hey, I cannot let you go without this one as well. This is more of it, just want to get to know you a little bit. So it's we're going to spin really deep for just 2 seconds here. I want you to finish this sentence for me. Finish this sentence for me, my fine friend. I love my life because
I love my life because almost everything in it I look forward to. And this might sound super trippy, and you might not even believe me, but I get up. I go to bed Sunday nights excited about Monday morning. I leave work Friday afternoon excited about the weekend ahead. I go on vacation looking forward to a sunny beach, and I get on a plane looking forward to coming home. And I think that practicing conscious gratitude is probably the most valuable thing I've ever learned. To accept the beauty is sort of stoicism philosophy here, that the bad things that might happen aren't really bad things. They're just happening, and you're going to learn from them and grow. And the good things may not be as good as you think they are either. They're just moments that are a little easier than others. But all of it has a purpose and a reason, and there's a lesson in all of it. And just to look around and appreciate everything going on. And for example, this morning I was on a plane, and the song called "Thing of Beauty" by Hothouse Flowers came on my Spotify playlist. I'm like, what a beautiful song! "A Thing of Beauty" is about like watching rainfall on rocks, and realizing that everything in life and in nature is a thing of beauty. And so, yeah, maybe I've had a little too much caffeine here, but the joy of looking forward to whatever comes next is one of the things I'm most grateful for.
Oh, love it. Conscious gratitude. I love that. I mean, and I'm in the same realm. I mean, I'm constantly thank you to my life. I'm walking around my house. And thank you, just to be here.
I live in Toronto, and I have a long commute. On a good day it's 35-40 minutes. On a bad day it's over an hour. And I've learned to just look around and see a kid walking to school holding his mother's hand with a Spider-Man backpack, and think, that kid's holding his mother's hand, feels so safe and secure right now. And what a beautiful thing that is. Such a small, stupid little thing. I see that on the way to work, and it makes, it just reminds you of the world's a good place. And I get to drive a car in a cool city to go to a job I really like, to be around people that are creative and interesting. And that's really great too. There's so much to be grateful for, and it just takes a little bit of effort to acknowledge it and to consciously go, yeah, I'm unfortunate human being.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. I love that. I just recognizing the gratitude in your life. I super appreciate that. I just want to let you know there's people tuning in, and I love this 𝘄𝗶𝘁𝗵 who's tuning in probably literally over in Europe somewhere right now. South Africa. So actually, he's probably in South Africa. He's probably in South Africa right now. And he said, yeah, I had a lot of conversations like that in crazy places, so it's all good. It's all good. And he just talked about real connection. He said there's something fitting about, for Shane, something about talking real connection while real life is happening in the background. I love that.
Yeah, I'm sorry that real life is so audible in my background, but
it's okay. Yeah. No, I appreciate that. No, it's fantastic. And Chris showed out there. What an amazing interview! Truly fascinating to hear Steve's perspective. So just wanted to throw that out there. And I think Maddie is tuning in from Calgary. Just want to show you that as well. Maddie's tuning in, just at people gathering, and that's what I mean. It's in live, it's real time, and that's what we're experiencing here today.
Yeah, Calgary's a great city, by the way. My daughter lives in Calgary, and her wife both live in town. However, I am an Oilers fan, and I, just back in life, I lived in Edmonton for 7 years, and it just kind of grew on me and hasn't gone away.
Hey, listen, I'm going to tell you a secret, and it's not even a secret. My friend, again, who works with the Calgary Flames, I've told him often, I said, I love watching the Oilers play. They are a fun team to watch to play. And they can be a frustrating team to watch as a fan, but yeah, they're a fun team to watch. And I'm excited about Calgary's rebuild. I'm excited about the new arena. I think that a healthy Flames-Oilers rivalry makes life a lot more fun. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, everybody, I just wanted to put up there, you can connect with Steve here on LinkedIn as well. There's LinkedIn, a message right there for, here's his website, stevejonesspeaks.com. Of course, you have Stingray as well. If you want to learn more about Stingray Radio, all that kind of stuff, stingray.com. You can go there and figure all that stuff out. They have especially if you're if you're looking for another piece of your marketing, this is where you need to go.
Here to help.
Right? Stingray, that's what we got to do, part of that. Steve, I so appreciate you being here, my friend. I appreciate the time. And
likewise.
Hope we get a chance to do it again, my friend. We'll just
let's make a point of it. Let's make sure it happens.
I appreciate that. That's fantastic. Everyone else, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to check I'll check all the if you laid a comment down, I'll get back to you. I appreciate that. Thanks for watching. And you know how this thing always ends, everybody. Hey, just be kind out there. Just be kind out there, everybody. That's all you got to do. Just be kind out there. Steve, I'll see you on the backside. Everybody else, you take care of yourself. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you again. Cheers. Just be kind out there. That's all you have to do. Just be kind out there. That's all you have to do. Just be kind out there, everybody. Just be kind. That's all you have to do. Just be kind out there, everybody. Hey, just be kind. You know the drill. Just be kind out there, everybody. Just be kind. Just be kind out there, everybody. That's all you have to do, right? Exactly. Just be kind out there, everybody.